Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. If this is not your first time, you're welcome back. My name is Chilotam Ojukwu. I am a Nigerian UX writer, digital creator, YouTuber. In fact, I have a whole video introducing myself and telling you guys what I do. So I will link it here because I feel like this video might be long and I don't want to fill it with too many unnecessary details. So I am doing like a life update in this video because I have not done a sit down video in a very long time. Part of the reason for that is because I was preparing to travel. If you don't know, I currently live in America. I was preparing to travel, and the few weeks before I traveled were very, very crazy for me. So I was super busy. I didn't have the time to do anything. So I just dropped the vlog, like, let's say, a few days after I landed. And I realized that, no, not like I realized, obviously, I knew that I've not done a sit down video. So I decided to do this one and give you guys a life update. I remember saying one time in one of my old videos that, oh, I can't wait to do like a proper life update. So this is that video. Okay, so before I get into it, please give this video a thumbs up. Please also subscribe if you're not subscribed and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time that I publish a new video. So in this video, I'm going to go way back, right? So we're going to go way back as far as early 2022 when I moved back to my parents' house. Back then in 2022, I was already planning to leave the country. And initially, I was trying to do Canada. My parents were like, oh, you should do Canada. Everybody in my house, oh, try Canada, try Canada. Everybody was like in my ear and in my face with the whole Canada thing. So I tried Canada. I kid you not, I tried like 5 times and it wasn't working out. And it became a serious problem in the house. Like my dad was like, oh, your job is distracting you. I was like, what are you saying? And then I also considered going to the UK, but UK itself was not working out. Well, it was, but I just wasn't sold on it. So I just decided to try to do America and it worked out for me. Initially, my parents did not like the idea. And in fact, it caused a serious problem between me and my dad because he was like, oh, somebody is influencing you to do what your family does not want you to do. But by and large, I shuffle my way here. It has been a very crazy and rough journey because I wanted to leave Nigeria as far back as September 2022, but nothing I was doing was working out. It was almost as if God did not want me to leave that country last year because the way things started working out for me regarding this travel this year, it has just been crazy. Lots of people that I would meet will say, "Oh, American embassy, they don't give people visa, this one, that one," and I'm like, don't try to deter me from doing something that I really want to do already. Do you get? I'm sorry that this video is all over the place. Like I planned for it, but now that I'm doing the video, it's kind of difficult to talk about what I thought I would be talking about. So throughout last year, which was 2022, and this year, all the months that are leading up to this current month, which is September, it has been a very, very rough ride because you know what it is now. I've even done several videos about it, being at home, being with parents, working from home, and I used to work from home. So it was very difficult to kind of have a personal life and also, live with your parents because parents can be, I mean, they're amazing, but they can be extremely, extremely overbearing. And I remember saying that one of the reasons I started going to the gym was just because I did not want to enter a state of depression. I started going to the gym because I felt like I was slowly getting depressed because of how choked the environment was. And don't get me wrong, like my parents they're great, they provide for me, they're awesome, everything. We're not lacking anything, which is great. But as a young adult, you kind of when you're in that space, you kind of want your space, especially if your parents are not the type to particularly give you space. My mom used to give me space, but my dad was very up in my business and I don't like people being up in my business like that. I'm really glad that the gym helped me out of it and I kept looking forward to coming here. I was just like, oh God, please, I cannot wait, because I came in August. I was just like, God, please, I cannot wait to come. I'm tired of this house. I was tired of everything. I was calling my friends on the phone every other day trying to complain. Even when I would go to the gym, my mom sometimes she would call me, she would annoy me. Like it was just a lot. And I was like, God, please, can you just make August come faster? But at the same time, yeah, because I had friends, or I still have friends who are back in Nigeria, I kind of felt guilty for leaving. Like as the time approached, I started feeling like, okay, am I really sure that I want to do this? Because when people talk about traveling and leaving the country, yes, it's a good idea, to some extent, because as a young person, you want to properly start your life and you want a system that actually works. So in that regard, it's good. But I feel like many people also don't talk about how difficult it is to leave your family and not know when next you're going to see them, leave your friends and not know when next you're going to see them. First of all, America is very far. It's not like UK to Nigeria, that's how many hours. America is far. In fact, I was traveling for damn near 2 days. Left Nigeria on the 16th. I got here like on the 18th. Anyway, I started feeling very bad towards the period that I was traveling. I was trying to see people, but I was so busy that I couldn't. There were only so many things I could fit into a very tight schedule. And one thing I'm very grateful for is the fact that before I traveled there, I was supposed to go to the UK with my family, but because they were coming back like 2 days before my own travel date, I couldn't go with them. So I had free time for like 2 weeks all to myself, just doing what I needed to do, just sleeping, having breathing space, and just being myself, for 2 whole weeks. And I was so happy. I know if my mom watches this video, she's going to laugh at me saying this. Although I was stressed out here and there, but it wasn't as intense as it would usually be when my parents were around. So that 2 weeks period, I feel like was a gift from God. Wallahi, I was using the time to also see my friends. I was using the time to honor some commitments that I had promised to honor, things like that. To some extent, I'm very grateful to God that I have my peace, I have my peace of mind, I have my rest. Like, nobody is shouting in my ear to wake up by 6 o'clock in the morning for morning devotion. I love God, but I don't like waking up on time. I really don't like it. I'm happy that I'm where I want to be, but at the same time, I miss home. I miss going to my gym. Right now, I've not gone to the gym for like 2 weeks, and I feel like a fat. Let me not talk. I feel extremely unhealthy. The only thing I just try to do is to eat things that help with my diet and all that. So now I want to talk about arriving here and how it has been so far. When I first came, I had to sleep in an inn. I think I did like a very brief video in my first vlog about when I was still in that inn. And I've never cried that much in my life. All those tears or all those types of cries that when you're crying them to be hooking your chest like you won't be able to breathe. That's how let me turn this light to my face. I feel like it would be much better than this. That's how much I was crying. Like, I remember I had to call one of my friends to sleep off with me on the phone because I was so sad. The school shuttle picked me up from the airport, right? So they dropped me off at the inn because it was really late. It was like past 10, almost 12, in fact 11 to 12, because by the time I settled, I remember it was already 12 a.m. I was so sad. Like, I wanted to call my mommy and say, "Mommy, I want to come back home," because it was not funny. When they dropped me off, and I realized that, oh my God, I'm alone. Like, this is it. Like, this is the beginning. Where you're crying and you're just doing. That's what I was. That's what I was doing. Even the next morning when I woke up, I realized that I was still doing that. Oh my God. The funny thing, this is not my first time in this country. I've talked about my first experience here, which was like 4 years ago. Last year, I traveled with my family. I was with my uncle. And I also keep up a lot with American politics. Like, I'm very familiar with this place, So the trying to get used to the place is not even the problem. The problem is just that being alone and starting from the beginning. Do you understand? If you're in your home country, there are some things that you're obviously able to do because you're at home, you're used to it, you're familiar with how things are done. Just been a very daunting experience because you're already moving as an adult. If you're moving as a child, you're kind of dependent on your parents to direct you and guide you through one or two things. But as an adult, it's like your life is really, really in your hands. And that's like the scariest thing. I found myself praying more than I usually do. Because back home it's Nigeria, you're at home. But when you're in another country, you have to be very, very careful because you're in a new culture, basically in a new system, and it's just been, I won't lie, so far it's been great, but it's also been a very daunting experience. So in terms of community, some people ask me sometimes that, oh, do you have family here? Do you know anybody here? I do have family here. I have an uncle who is down in Louisiana. I have two friends, one in Texas, one in Oregon. But I mean, like, America is very big, so it's not like you can just say, oh, I'm going to visit this person, like they live across the streets. You have to like book a whole flight, and there are different time zones here. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Anyway, so ever since I got here, it's been school work, office work, side gigs. I've been trying to also film for YouTube because I've been doing vlogs more often than I usually do, and I always used to say that, oh, I don't like doing vlogs. Truthfully, I feel like I don't even like my own vlogs. Do you get, like, I don't go back to watch my vlogs. I go back to watch my sit down videos, but I don't go back to watch my vlogs because I don't like vlogs at all. For me to watch your vlog, it means that I really like you as a person, and there are very few people that I actually watch their vlogs. I prefer when people sit down and talk. I prefer like conversations. I don't really like vlogs like that, but I try my best to put out vlogs, and I'm not even promising anything now that I've traveled because I live in a small town. Personally, I prefer quiet towns to big cities because big cities are kind of noisy and small towns are just more community centered. In as much as in the West, in general, in the West, they have a very individualistic mindset. But small towns are much better than big cities, in my opinion. You just have to navigate through the pros and the cons and all that. Maybe I'll talk about that in another whole video. So far I really like it here. I'm in the state of Missouri. I'm getting my master's in technical communication. In terms of the educational system here, I really like it. I like the fact that they approach it from a student, should I say student perspective. They approach it from a very useful point of view. You know, they're like, okay, how are you actually going to apply this in your real life? And the activities that are centered around academics, at least in my own program, right, the activities centered around academics are very, very realistic, unlike Nigeria that they just teach you so that you can vomit what they've taught you and pass. You know, I know that it's different for different fields, because in something like, let's say, math or engineering, there are some specific rules that need to be followed. But me, I'm more of an English literature kind of girl. So most of what I do, both in the real world and in school, is very dynamic. Do you get? So far, I really love it. I have no issues with my professors or anything. In fact, I love all my classes so far, and I'm doing some elements of design as well. And I feel like it fits in so well with my career goals. And that's why I was saying that I really feel like me coming to America was, I don't want to sound all spiritual and all that, but I feel like God had a huge hand in this, because the way things were going so smoothly, yeah, it wasn't going smoothly at all with Canada and the UK. And I know, yeah, there are nuances when you talk about things like that, but in my personal opinion, okay, I I think that God had a huge a huge role to play in all of this, because now I know I'm going off on a wild tangent here because this video is just everywhere. Usually, it's very difficult to get a date for American visa appointments or like embassy like interviews and all that, because the interviews are done in person. Do you get? It's not like the UK and Canada that you just submit documents. Here you carry your documents, but the interview is, it's more of a conversation. Do you get? So I mean, not my first time. I was nervous and all. Maybe I should even talk about that. I got my interview date on my birthday. That was when I got my interview date. It was just crazy. Like, I remember my birthday this year. I just opened my email and I saw that, oh, you have been scheduled for so and so, pick a date, this one, that one. I was like, oh wow, this is not a coincidence. I'm sorry, but I believe in small things like this. I don't think that it was a coincidence. During the visa interview, my interview went so well, because I mean, it's not my first time, but it went really, really well. I just answered my questions, and I was very stoic throughout the entire thing. It didn't even last for up to 5 minutes, the interview, because they're just asking me questions and I was answering. Most of my questions were even based on my travel history, all that. And they were like, oh, congratulations, something. At first, when I heard congratulations, I was like, are you sure? But in my mind, I said, are you sure? But I didn't want to ask that kind of question, because honestly, that would be weird. Usually, you know immediately when they're giving you your visa. They will either tell you, oh, you've been qualified, or you don't qualify. You get? They don't waste time. You know there and then. So when they took my passport and everything, I just went to ask one of the security personnel there. I was like, please, is there a bathroom here? So I went to the bathroom and I went to do like a 1 minute dance. I was jumping. I was so happy. Yeah. Since then, things have been going so well. I got all my documents together, and the crazy thing is that this entire process, I did every single thing by myself. I got help from my friends. You know, my friend who came to America last year, so she directed me to do a couple of things here and there. But the entire process, applying for visa, getting everything, I didn't use an agent, because most agents don't like to do America. They don't like to work with students that want to go to America, because they just have the mindset that, oh, you're not going to get a date because it's difficult. And I really do understand that, but I felt like I had a shot. And I mean, the admissions came like this. In fact, I got 2 admissions to 2 schools here. When I was leaving here, this was when I was at the airport, my dad sent me this message. So it was such an emotional message, and I was just like, sir, you were not doing like this when I was back in Nigeria. You were doing hard guy for me. I was trying so hard to hold back tears at the airport, like, hell God. Because at the airport you're moving, you have to check in, you have to go through security, all that. So when all that was done and I was finally seated on the plane, I started crying. In fact, I did not cry. I wailed. I wept because I was like, is this really it? As in, it was, oh my God, I cried so much. Like, I've never cried that much in my life. Now that I'm even remembering it, like, it's kind of bringing tears to my eyes. And I don't want to cry because I have makeup on and I don't need my tears to wear my makeup right now. I don't have the time for that. I have a class. Do you know I have a class by 4 p.m. after this video? It's still like it's 8:39ish. I hear what Nigeria does to people, separating families, separating friends, and now it's not even as if I'm in the same time zone with Nigeria. I'm 6 hours behind. So in fact, when I'm planning to go to sleep, that's when my friends back home are waking up. I go to sleep around, let's say, 11, 12, which is like maybe 5, 6 in Nigeria. That's when my friends are waking up. I have a ton of assignments to always do. Like, my assignments are crazy. I have to read, like, let's say 4 to 6 chapters for one assignment. It's a ton of reading. It's nothing new because when I was in uni, like during my undergraduate, I was also doing literature courses and I had to read a lot. It's just like the reading has doubled, you know. So it's been crazy, but the thing I've found with those readings is that they are very, very useful, and they're useful for real world experiences. So sometimes when I get side gigs, like side jobs to do, I use the little knowledge that I have gained from doing my master's here. Like, I know I'm just still starting, but I've gained so much knowledge and I apply that directly to what I do. And I do UX writing, content writing, and all that. So it really, really helps. Like, that's why I said I feel like God has a hand in all this. I haven't quite gotten a schedule that I really love. I used to go to the gym back in Nigeria, like every evening I'll go to the gym, but right now the gym is like, it's of walking distance, but I don't like walking, and I hate walking. That's one. Two, most of my classes are, or some of my classes are in the evenings, and it's hard to kind of incorporate that with the personal work that I do, with my academic work and the other little things that I have to do, like all these tiny registrations. Right now, I'm trying to even register for my driver's license because I need to be able to drive if the need arises. Do you understand? The license I have here is my Nigerian license. I can't use that here. When I was living in Nigeria, was when I started making acquaintances with a lot of people, like people that are so pleasant. And it's just sad to just not be able to see them. Sometimes you just want to go out with your friends for drinks, and right now I have to start making new friends. In general, I'm very strict, so being in a new environment and making new friends is kind of it's not really on the list for me right now. There are Nigerians in my class, there are Ghanaians in my class. The Ghanaians are really, really sweet. Like, I love them. They're very cool. They're cool people. I just like the fact that I have my own space. I have an amazing housemate. My housemate is amazing. I love the peace and the quiet that comes with having your own space. I love having agency. I love the fact that I'm no longer responsible for cooking for everybody in the house. Right now I cook, but I cook for only myself. It's not the one that will be calling me on the phone telling me to go to the market and go and buy egusi to come and cook. Something happened before I traveled there. God, I was so mad. My mom called me that, oh, daddy's coming back. Go to the market and go and buy this one and do. I was chilling, like I was chilling, I was just chilling and just got a phone call. Go to the market and go and buy what? After I finished crying and complaining, I went to buy the egusi and I still cooked it. But I just like the fact that nobody is controlling my life per se. Like, I have control over the things that I'm doing, and that's what I'm most grateful to God for. So I'm going to end this video on this note. I have a Q&A coming up. Hopefully this video goes up before that one, and I'll answer some of the questions that many people have been trying to ask me. If you have your own travel experiences, maybe you can leave them in the comments. I would love to also read and know what you guys think. Or maybe you have close friends who are also traveling and it's been affecting your friendships and your relationships so far. Let me know. I think it's a topic that is worth exploring. I even did a video on this, like, what was it, last year? I'll link that video here, but I was talking about how travel and leaving Nigeria has just really broken up relationships and family and all that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps the video so much. Like, it helps YouTube to push the video to the algorithm so that more people can actually find it. Leave a comment for me in the comment section, and don't forget to turn on my notification bell so you'll be notified every single time that I publish a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.